morning, parkrun adventurers, and a happy parkrun day. I'm Lyndell, and welcome to episode 198 of the Parkrun Adventurers podcast. You did hear right, it's parkrun day. Mel and I thought we'd get together to record today because, after all, podcasting is something we can do from home, practicing social distancing. Mel Erbacker, how are you going with your social distancing?
I like to call it physical distancing, Lyndall, because socially, I'm not sure I've ever been quite so active. I'm still, keeping in touch with everybody virtually and online, and I'm making more phone calls, and I'm having the Google Hangouts, and I've actually caught up with a lot of people that I haven't seen in ages, just because, I don't know, it feels like everybody is looking for more connection right now. And I'm one of those people looking for more connection, even though I could always have it before. But for some reason now it just seems more important.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mel. I've been doing the same thing. I've found myself just taking the time every day to reach out to somebody and check in with them and just catch up with people that I may not have caught up with for a little while. So maybe there's some good that comes out of this physical distancing, let's say. I like that term too.
Yeah, well, we can only hope. It's a bit of a mad and crazy world at the moment. So if we don't check in with people, how are we going to know everyone's doing okay? And that's the important thing.
100%.
Now, Parkrun Day. This week we have decided to record during parkrun time, which we have never done before in 4.5 years of the podcast. We've podcasted just after parkrun time, but never right while parkrun has been happening. So, but we figured this week, why not? What else are we going to be doing? I don't know what you've been up to the last couple of weeks, Lyndall, but I have not been running at parkrun time. It's I don't feel the compulsion to get out there and run when it's just me or just me and Adam, going solo or in pairs with the boys. It's not the same thing. So I don't feel any need to even try and put in a space saver, if that's what you want to call it, for parkrun, because it's not the same. So I've just been literally going completely in the other direction. I'm not able to sleep in because I have two very small boys who do not allow sleep-ins. But we've just been using parkrun days and parkrun morning for completely different things. I've been baking. I've been what else have I been doing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I could tell you. What have you been up to?
Well, I have been running, but look, like you, I feel like I can't replicate parkrun. It's not the same, even if I run the same distance, even if I wear my parkrun shirt and take my barcode, it isn't the same. And I haven't been compelled to get out of bed and run at 7 o'clock personally. I totally understand why people have done that, and I think that's fantastic. But for me, I know that I've been getting out a bit later, and I've noticed on Strava that some of my other friends have also had that same same thing. The activities on Strava are getting later and later because there's no parkrun to get up for, but also there's no other activities after parkrun that you have to fit your run in early in the morning. Your run can actually be your daily activity, and so there's no need to get up and get it done before you get on with your day, I guess. So yeah, big changes, I think, in the way we manage our lives.
Definitely big changes. And of course, there are restrictions, or I don't know, I'm not even sure I want to call them restrictions. There's just guidelines, although I guess that they're legislated and we could potentially be hit with really big fines if we breach those guidelines. So yeah. At any rate, there are just different ways that we need to go about getting everything done at the moment here in Australia and in Queensland specifically, because you and I are both in Queensland. We're allowed to go out once a day for exercise at the moment. We're not on complete lockdown, but for most intents and purposes, we're pretty much there, aren't we?
Yeah, there's not much to do. Many people are working from home. Many people sadly are unable to work now because there's businesses that aren't able to operate under the new guidelines. And that's not great. There's other people that are working harder than ever in some of the essential services. So it's just lives have changed for everybody. I guess I'm very lucky. I have a job, and my workplace hasn't closed down yet. So we are being very cautious about our social distancing or physical distancing, and so we have less people in the office and people working at home. So that's a bit of a transition that many people are going through at the moment, to find that way of being able to concentrate at home or stay focused at home. And you can't buy a computer mouse for love or money, I hear,
Oh, really?
because everyone's been setting up their home offices.
And you know what? I know people, yeah, they've been buying desks. I
Yep.
know other people who've been buying PE type equipment as well. So,
Yeah.
weights and
Yeah. You can't buy a dumbbell or a kettlebell.
gym mats and whatnot. And so I think there's a lot of stores sold out of all those items.
Yes. So we've moved on from toilet paper.
Yes, we've moved. Yes, people are now hoarding dumbbells.
Yes, and desks and webcams.
Yeah, you got to have your priorities, don't you? I've just made sure I have enough Easter eggs in the house to keep
Yes,
me going for a little while.
indeed.
But yes, you're right. Life is definitely very different at the moment, and it's very different for individuals depending on, well, whether or not you've got a job, or whether or not you've got kids that you're keeping home, or things like that. In Queensland, they haven't closed down schools and childcare
No.
centres, so people can still send their kids to those places and things like that. But I do know that a lot of people are keeping their children home. We're keeping ours at home. So that's adding a level of complexity to working from home. It hasn't been as much of a transition for myself or Adam, because we've worked at home for several years now. So it's pretty much just business as usual for us. We're all looking for silver linings where we can find them. I don't know about you, but I am loving all the chalk, all the artwork. I was out yesterday afternoon for a walk with the boys, and there was a group of kids who were out there writing wonderful messages on the footpath and things like that. And they were checking in with each other. I heard one kid yell out to another, "How do you spell worry?" Because bless them, they
Oh.
were writing, they had drawn a rainbow and they were writing, "Don't worry, be happy" on the footpath. And I just
Oh.
thought, lots of people could be bored, but these kids are out there trying to spread positivity and light. And I just thought, these are the moments that you treasure in these really difficult times, is that people are out there helping each other, and just little things like that, little gestures just to brighten somebody else's day. And they're never necessarily going to see the people whose smiles are put on their faces by those things. I thanked them as I was going past, because I actually saw them out there doing it. But
Yeah. And look, there's been a whole bunch of those things. Lots of groups on Facebook where you share your happy snaps. And yeah, the chalk art, it's been amazing. Just little messages, and some of them are highly elaborate with beautiful rainbows and patterns and hopscotch tiles and things like that. It's just been really lovely to see that positivity come out of something that, could be very different if we have a different attitude. And like you were saying, are they restrictions or are they guidelines? Well, if we call them restrictions and we feel like they're restrictions, then they become restrictions. But if we see them as guidelines and a different way to live our life for a bit, well, we can adapt and see good in it and make good out of it, I think.
exactly. And words and language are some really powerful tools that you can use to alter your perspective. Things like, don't think of it as being stuck at home, think of it as being safe at home.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Safe at home, physically distanced instead of socially distanced. Let's be socially connected. Yeah. Use different words and think about them differently, and we can come out of this better, not worse.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, so we've checked in. Sounds like we're both doing okay. Let's get on to the business of the podcast. I don't know whether I should be asking this question, but do we have any roving reports this week, Mel?
Lyndall, we don't.
I suspected as much.
But it's understandable. I mean, if nobody gets to rove, then this is one of the quandaries that is going to be a theme throughout this period, I think. What are we going to talk about? This is a parkrun themed podcast, but if we're not going to parkrun, then I don't know. But you know what? We don't have any roving reports. It's been lovely checking in to see what you've been doing during this time instead of your normal park runs. Maybe we should give the rest of the Channel 5 News crew a call and just catch up, see if anyone answers the phone. It's parkrun time. Like, well, we could find out what they're actually doing right now.
Yes, let's do that. That's a great idea, Mel.
Who shall we start with? Let's call Melissa first.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Melissa,
Yes.
it's Lyndell and Mel.
Hello. How are you?
Great. Happy Parkrun Day.
Thank you. Oh, you've just caught me. I'm in my activewear. About to go out to do my pseudo park run.
Oh, so you're doing the pseudo parkrun. See, this is what we're wondering. So Mel and I are catching up with all of the reporters to just check in to see how they're coping with no parkrun.
Yes, we have created a little 5K loop from our front door. It is Ellis Pellis Park Run, unofficial. This is week 3. So Paul joins me on our little loop, and
Who's got the course record?
I do the sprint finish thing so that I get over. He very generously accompanies me the whole way around, and then we get 100 meters to go, and I just get over that line quickly.
Nice one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm off to do that, and then I'm going to take part in the quiz today. Hey, did you listen in last week?
I didn't.
Well, I heard a rumour that you cleaned up.
Oh, runners up global. Hello.
Nice work. So I logged on the very first week of the quiz. I didn't make it last week because the timing didn't line up for me. You guys did it as a team, the Ellis family, didn't you? Did you do it as a team again last week?
Well, I did type in Team Ellis, I think, when I registered, but I was solo. I was solo, yeah.
So you can take full credit for all the glory.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Everybody else was still in bed. So they changed the time last week. So it popped up an hour earlier. And I actually didn't know that when I went to bed. I just assumed it would be the same time as the previous week. So thankfully, I checked my phone while I was lying in bed, and I had this YouTube notification that said the parkrun quiz is starting in 20 minutes. And I went, but I made it.
Good on you. See, I missed it last week because I logged on at the time that I thought it was going to be. And instead of it being a live video, it was a video.
A recording.
Yeah. So it wasn't live. So I missed it. And I thought, well, this is not going to be very fun to watch a video of somebody else winning.
But by the same token, you can still do the quiz even when it's not live. You're just not competing with the Ellises of the world. As long as you haven't looked up the answers or been told what the answers are, you can still actually do the quiz. And if quizzing is what brings you joy, then you don't have to do it live.
So I had a sort of a strategy, and I don't know if this if this helped me get over the line last week. I did get 12 out of 15, so I think that's relatively good score. But also Vassar said not to submit your answers until he said so. So I sat there patiently waiting. I saw in the chat on the side that everybody was posting what they'd scored, and I thought, oh, he hasn't said we can we can submit our answers yet. So I waited, and then I did it when he said. So there's a little tip. I don't know if that will help, but
it always pays to follow directions.
I'm a rule follower.
Yeah, I don't understand it doesn't change your questions. I'm sure you still just had all the right questions and things like that.
And a lot of them were guesses, but I think educated guesses too in some points. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that tonight. It's tonight, guys. Lyndell, tonight. Log in.
Okay.
So, Melissa, what else have you been doing to keep yourself busy during this period of crazy?
I've been kind of busy, so I've been working full time. Army is involved again with the COVID-19. So that's keeping me busy.
How's that? Reserves haven't been called up in 50 years, and then 2020. Hey guys, it's us again.
I know. I got a bit of a break in between, just a bit of a relaxed period. A lot of people I work with haven't, so we're still working. So I physically have to go to work. I'm not able to do that at home yet, but yeah, so it's keeping me busy, and I'm trying to fit in regular walks. I did thought maybe I'll start trying to do a streak, like a 2K a day run or walk. I think I lasted 4 days and I missed one already. But yeah, trying to still keep physical as well as work to balance it out. So, but I think I'm quite lucky. From what I went through in the bushfires, I'm sort of a little bit prepared with this social distancing thing. I think I got all my grieving for loss of park runs out of my system January, February, and adjusted to that. Hadn't really got back in the swing of park run every week when this has happened. So maybe I'm lucky in that sense that it prepared me for this.
Yeah, because it has been a big loss in lots of people's lives, but because you'd already been through that, maybe you were a little bit more emotionally ready to not have parkrun every week.
I think so. As much as I do miss it, and I think I'm seeing my friends going through what I went through while I was away. So, yeah, and this online thing, or my friends are Zooming and Skyping and Google Hangouts and all that sort of a platform. So that's really good to keep in touch with everybody, enjoying that aspect as well. Yeah.
All right. Well, since your active weared up, we better let you go so you can do your parkrun from home.
Yes. No worries.
Yeah, I've got a lot of calls to make this morning, but it was great having a chat with you. Glad to hear where you are now.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your parkrun day, whatever you may be doing.
Thanks, Melissa.
Will do.
Bye.
All righty. Who's on our list next? Let's try Talk, hey?
Good morning, Wombat. Hello.
Good morning, Wombat. Is this how you answer your phone, Talk?
That's the name of the front of our house, Wombat Hollow.
Oh, I thought you were calling me a wombat. It's Mel.
No, I'm a little furry thing that scampers around on four legs.
That is a very cute name for a house.
At the front of our house, we have a little hollowed out tree log with a pottery wombat in it. And yeah, it's a placard that my dad had made up with Wombat Hollow across the front door.
Very cute. Very cute. Hey, so Talk, it's parkrun time, and Lyndell and I are actually recording the pod right now. So we thought we might check in and find out what the rest of the Channel 5 News crew were doing at parkrun time now that it's an unparkrun day. There's no actual parkruns to be at. So what are you up to?
Well, at the time you're recording, it's actually, I'd call it Victorian parkrun breakfast time. So we've done parkrun, we'd be at breakfast. But today we've decided for week 2 of Cape Patterson Parkrun that we're going to mix it up a bit. So we got up this morning. To be fair to say, it was chucking it down with rain. So we decided let's go backwards today. So we're going to have we've had breakfast already. So I've had my eggs on toast, and then we're going for our park run. We're going to run now week 2 of Cape Patterson's parkrun course, but we're going to run it in reverse because we're going to do everything backwards today. So last week I came second out of our 2 participants. So today I'm going to have a crack at trying to come first on our backwards course as we run the reverse of the course we ran last week.
That sounds terrific, Talk. So the course, can you give us a course description?
Well, it'd be fair to say that the course probably doesn't meet the parkrun criteria. It does cross a few roads, but with the course that we're going to run today, we'll start off from our house naturally. We'll run an anti-clockwise direction around a road up through a new housing estate that's being built, and then we'll drop down onto a track that follows the cliff edge along the coast, and we sit with a number of lookouts as we run along. We can sit out and look out over the sea, so we can look down to Cape Liptrap and Wilson's Promontory, and we just get really great panorama views of the coastline for a fair section of the course. So it's a really lovely little course to run. It's one we run quite frequently.
Sounds like a ripper.
It does sound stunning. Cliff edge, though, that sounds, well, and especially if it's windy. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, no, look, it's back from the cliff edge, and there are barricades, but it's just a beautiful little bit of course that we walk on nearly every day. And one of the highlights today is, I don't know if you've got the movement up in Queensland, but down through Victoria, everyone's putting teddy bears out in the front windows. So today, as we run around, I'm going to try go spotto on as many teddy bears as I can. And I know there's so many houses are putting them out, just trying to brighten up the kids' days as they go for a walk, looking for the teddy bears in the front windows.
I don't know about you, Lyndall, but I have seen teddy bears out and about, but I didn't really understand how it works. Are you supposed to take the teddy bears and do something with them, like in Amelie, where she got her friends to take the gnome all over the world and have photos taken and send postcards back? Or
No, I think in this case, or down here anyway, I think it's more just a case of walking around trying to spot the teddies in the windows. And people have actually got creative. There's a number of front yards that have got teddies hidden up in trees, and people have got little signs out to say spot the teddy. And so you've got to stop at the yard and actually look and try to pick where the teddy bear is in the front yard. And sometimes they're in the front window. Sometimes they're right at the top of the window, so you look at the sill normally, but sometimes they're up the top. Sometimes, as I said, they're in trees, all over the place. So I think it's just a bit of fun.
Sounds like your park run could take a little bit longer than your normal one if you're stopping to check out the teddy bears.
Well, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's going to hurt at all, Lyndall.
I don't think so either.
Going to make it a fun day.
It'll make it fun for sure, and that's what it's about at the moment. There's less to do because there's less things on, so finding the joy in things just is that's the new normal, I hope.
I don't know about you guys. Another thing that I've really noticed in the last couple of days walking around is everyone keeps their distance. Everyone separates on the track when you're walking towards someone. Everyone goes to the sides of the tracks, but everyone is saying hello now, and people are a lot happier to talk now, or just say good day and nod as they walk past. And that's a great thing to take out of all this. People are starting to reconnect with each other.
I couldn't agree more, Toc. That's a really great attitude. And yeah, I have seen a bit more of that. People reaching out a bit more, people smiling a bit more at each other and asking if they're okay.
Yeah, I think it's a really lovely thing that we're taking a little bit of sunshine out of some otherwise dull days, and even if it is just a nod and a wink as you walk past, it's just that human connection. And I think we should be encouraging that, and people should actively try to say hello to people as they walk past. Let's make someone's day brighter. That person may have been stuck inside for 23 and a half hours, and this is their half hour to get out and have a walk. Make someone's day a little bit brighter.
That's a great attitude. I think that's something we can all give a crack to and just see how it goes. Don't be shy.
Agree 100%. It was lovely to check in with you, Toc. I hope you guys don't get too wet, and I hope you don't get too wet and woolly out there on your run today. Please try not to fall off any cliffs.
Well, Mel, if we were running an in-block today, it'd have to be sunny, but because it's Cape Patterson, I think we'll just have to accept getting a little bit damp as we run around.
And good luck also for trying to come first this week.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Lyndall. Have a great day.
Enjoy.
We'll see you later. Greta, G is for Greta. Well, it looks like Greta isn't answering, Lyndall.
Well, she must be doing something really interesting with her parkrun morning.
Let's hope so. Maybe we should try calling one of the others. Let's stick to South Australia. Let's call PK.
Let's do that.
Hello?
Hey, PK.
Oh, g'day. Is that you, Lyndall?
Yeah, it's Lyndall. I'm here with Mel. We're recording the podcast and we thought we'd check in.
Oh,
Hey, PK.
What are you up to?
g'day. How nice. Nice to hear from you both. Yeah, no, I'm good. Happy Parkrun Day, hey?
Yeah, well,
Indeed.
we're recording the podcast at parkrun-time for the first time ever, which is a little bit exciting in its own thing, making the best of a meh situation. But what are you up to? What are you normally doing right now? Well, now in the new now.
In the new now, well, I've already been out for a run, so I'm now I've got all the time in the world. No, it's a lovely day over here in sunny Adelaide. Well, sunny at the moment. We've had a bit of rain. It's gonna rain again. So I thought, whilst I can, I'll get out. I only did I did a half park run. I just did 2.5 k's. But that was lovely. So what's that? A semi park run? I don't know.
We can call it whatever you like, really. It's,
I know, right?
you know,
Yeah, well, it was great. I was getting in my 5K. I'm doing 5Ks a day, which our great leader, the Messiah, I think it is that what they call him, Tim Oberg? He issued the challenge last year or whatever it was to do 5K a day, and I've been trying to do that. So yeah.
fantastic. So you've kept that up and done 5Ks a day.
I have now, but when we say 5K a day, Lyndell, I'm not necessarily running 5K a day. I've kind of because I do love to go to the gym and do my spin class and love to do walks as well. So when I could go to the gym, I was doing spin class like 3 times a week, and after that, which absolutely shattered me, I thought there's no way I'm going to try and also run 5Ks, but now instead, but actually now I've kind of changed it a little bit and doing bike rides with my girls at the end of the day, which has been beautiful as well for us to get out. So yeah, just mixing it up a bit, but still doing my 5K.
Fantastic.
Yeah, loving it.
So mixing it up, is that how you're coping in these times of just a different kind of world? Mix it up a bit. Is that the PK way?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm trying to do. I work in marketing, and my job relies on going to events and meeting people. So yeah, happy times. But no, I've just tried. I've had to evolve a bit and do a few different things as well. And I'm having lots of video conference calls for work, but also I've created a little virtual networking event for myself, which has been going quite well. So yeah,
fantastic. So working from home.
Yeah. Just this week, yeah. So we've been able to. Most of our staff went home a week or so ago, and I just stayed back with one of the other guys from the leadership team, and just to get ourselves sorted, for however long this is going to be, the new norm. And yeah, it's been good working from home. Lots of just adapting, but yeah, no, we're good. We're busy, which is we got to be, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow for all of us. So. Got to stay busy and positive, I say.
Yeah, and work while we can. I mean, in case the worst happens, we've just got to, those of us that have got jobs have got to keep on working as long as that is an option.
Yeah, but no, it's been good, and still trying to keep fit and keeping in touch with all our park runners. I'm the RD at Mount Barker, as many will probably know, because you've heard a lot about it. and we're still active, or just how it is. We're obviously encouraging people to be active, but in a sensible way, and to do as many solo runs as possible, and obviously not go to the parkrun course if you can help it. Certainly on a Saturday at 8 o'clock, but certainly you can still do it, but just in your own time, and even if you are out in the course or any course running anywhere, like this morning I was out running just a local one down here where I live. And just like keeping like 2 meters away from people, I think, not the 1.5. I think it's really important to because you don't want to, cause the ire of people who are walking as well, and someone's sweating past them. So yeah,
it's one of those situations where I know huggers are really finding it difficult because
my goodness,
they can't hug at the moment.
Let's not talk about that.
But how are the high fivers working out? Because you strike me as a high fiver, PK.
Yeah, I am. But what I'm doing now is actually just saying g'day to people as I run past. So they're finding that quite random. Or saying hello to dogs. G'day, doggo.
Yes.
or commenting on like a little kid I ran past yesterday was wearing a onesie, and I'm like, hey, great outfit. So it's more still interacting from a 2 meter distance. And yeah, look, just trying to do that. And certainly we've been doing quite a few Zoom chats as well. There's a crew that called the Summiteers who has grown out of Parkrun, which is basically where we run to the summit of Mount Barker. And we had like a Zoom chat last night, which was awesome to see a lot of the park runners. And Charlie Butler and Paul Butler were in there, well known to the pod. So there's been other ways that we've been able to interact, which has been nice.
I wonder if there's anyone out there who has done a Zoom run yet, as in they've Zoom met on their phones while they're running. it could be a little bit dangerous if you're like looking at your phone while running.
I walked on a Zoom call last week. A group of us that met through Parkrun had a Zoom call, and I went for a walk, got my coffee, and went for a walk while on the Zoom call.
I like that. That's a great idea. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Just we have to adapt and try different things. I found some awesome new playlists that just to suit the different running speeds that you might want to go. And I've been sharing them on our Mount Barker page as well. So actually I was running it this morning and I thought of Scotty because Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for Hero came on. And I thought, oh my God, I know Scotty loves,
a bit of Bonnie.
But I'm sure he would have enjoyed running to that one.
I can picture it now.
But it's look, we're just adapting, and doing all we can, and it's great to still have the podcast to listen to as well. So thank you for keeping it alive.
Well, we do what we can. Well, thanks for having the chat, PK.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Any final words for the listeners?
Of course. Thanks so much. Keep safe, people. Keep healthy. Keep motivated. And look, who knows when the other side will come, but we will get there. And I look forward to hugging and high-fiving a lot of people when we get there.
Likewise, PK. Great catching up with you. We'll talk to you soon.
Good on you. Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Lyndell.
See you, PK.
Bye.
Shall we call Dave next, Lyndell?
Yeah, let's call Dave. I wonder what he's up to this morning.
That's another one ringing out. That's disappointing.
Oh, it is. It would have been nice to chat to him, but anyway, he's probably doing something fun.
Let's hope so. Well, let's try calling somebody else. Let's call Mark.
Good morning, this is Mark.
Mark, it's Mel from The Adventurers. How you doing?
Oh, Mel, good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm so glad you answered the phone. I knew it was a bit of a potluck whether or not you might actually be available. Some people are still running at this time of day, but Lyndell's here too.
Oh,
G'day,
morning,
Mark.
Lyndell. How are you?
Yeah, well, mate, how are you?
Good.
We're recording the podcast at parkrun time this week, and so we thought it might be fun to just give everyone on the news crew a bit of a bell and see what you guys are up to, whether or not you're park running or pseudo park running, or if you've got some other plans in place that you've been doing. So what are you up to?
Oh, well, look, this is week 3 now, is it, of our Unparkrun Saturdays? Like, this is bizarre. This is what Saturdays are like for the rest of the population. Well, today we've actually we've taken the day off. Young James had a bit of an accident yesterday at home school and fell out of a tree and hit his head. So we're resting him up today.
That sounds like a plan. Homeschooling. How's that going, Mark?
Oh, look, it's been interesting. I think that this is, about the second week we've been doing it with them. Nicole and I were alternating who was home, but we're both home with them now permanently, and we're adjusting to it. But I think that the main point is that you can only do what you can do, and the kids can only do what they can do. So we're making the most of it and making most of the technology that's available.
And look, parents aren't teachers. You guys don't have bachelor degrees in education and things like that as a general rule. I mean, some parents are teachers, but
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure on parents at the moment to do everything that and try to communicate as much as many learnings and education as kids were getting in schools, and it's not realistic. We need to be kind to ourselves.
Yeah, well, this week I've certainly had multiple hats on at home, doing my job, and then also we rearranged our home office to be able to fit 2 desks in here, so Nicole could be in here, and set up a workstation for her, and sourcing an office chair. When the internet goes down, I'm all of a sudden the IT support guy. So yeah, it's been an interesting week.
Did you get an office chair? Because I've heard they've been hard to come by.
Yeah, thankfully I was able to get one from my mum's place, so
Yeah.
that worked out well. But yeah, I went to Office Works, and it was crazy busy there. It was just like as if it was before, back to school time, and walked in there, and the place was nearly empty of technology and certainly desks and chairs. But yeah, no, we managed to sort out a chair for Nicole.
So you're all sorted, you set up at home, you bunkered down. How's that going emotionally or physically? Is it working for you? Have you had any unexpected surprises?
Oh, look, I think dealing with the what's going on, I think that's been, mentally hard is just trying to process it. Like obviously we've never been through something like this before, so trying to reconcile things, it's been challenging. I did go out for a run on Thursday afternoon, and was doing a bit of the track around the Waggy Bridge, and I ran past somebody, and they've called out, "Oh, hi, Mark," and I've stopped and turned around, and pulled the headphones off to talk, and they were walking with their partner, and it's just like, "Oh, hang on, you got to hang back. We can't have a group of three." And I'm like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. See ya," and just kept running. And that was, I don't know, that was hard. Like there's somebody there you would normally stop and talk to, and you couldn't do that. Um, so I think I found that that particularly hard that day. But I've been making use of the technology, with Zoom. I had a good 2 hour chat with somebody the other day, which was good. It was different to a phone call, but being able to see them and have a chat, and was kind of, we're just testing Zoom, and it ended up being a 2 hour conversation.
Yeah. It is nice to be able to see people, isn't it? And I think more people are doing the FaceTime and the Google Hangouts, and it does add an extra layer to that connection rather than just being on a phone call.
Yeah, well, like, for the gun runners running group that I'm part of, it's a very social group. So there's usually like coffee runs in the mornings and beer runs in the afternoons. And so Thursday afternoon when I finished that run, we all got onto Zoom and, had a drink together via video, which was good to kind of keep those social connections going there with those guys. So, but I'm keeping up my running. I'm still training for my Berlin Marathon challenge as if it's going to happen. I'm trying to remain positive and motivated to that. It's probably unrealistic, but for me, I need to kind of be focused on something to keep getting out the door. So last weekend, I started a personal challenge of mine. Here in Canberra, we have what's called the Centenary Trail, which is a 145-kilometre trail run that basically goes around Canberra. And you can kind of divvy it up into 7 stages of around 20 to 21 kilometres per stage. So I did my first stage last weekend, running from Hall, which is just a small village just outside Canberra, near where I live, and then ran to Black Mountain Tower, which if a lot of people will be familiar with when they visited Canberra. So that was 21.1 kilometres. The plan is to run each week a different stage, just to kind of keep the training going for the Berlin Marathon. And then the weekend, it was the day before that, on the Saturday, rather than doing a park run, my daughter had said that she wanted to see the sunrise, so we went for a hike up One Tree Hill, which is behind our house. So we left here about 6 o'clock in the morning, and took about an hour to get up to the top of One Tree Hill, and it was absolutely beautiful to be up there, and thoroughly enjoyed that experience with the family.
It's great to hear that you're doing different things. I guess for a lot of people there is, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but maybe they feel like they need to go and do parkrun, not at the event at the same time or things like that. But it's great to hear that you're doing different things. How are you finding you've made a lot of changes to your life by the sounds of it, Mark, working from home, homeschooling, accommodating all your different runs and things like that. Are you finding there's a different kind of flexibility or freedom that you didn't have before in your life?
Yeah, look, I think that this week has been trying to work things out initially, but I can certainly see that there will be a lot of options and flexibility in the way we do get through the weeks. A good example of that is that, like I prefer to run first thing in the morning. I like to get up and go get my run done. Thursday morning is quite a fair bit of rain and wasn't kind of keen to get out in the rain. So I skipped that run, and that did get me down during the days, like, because I had been sticking to my training program. It was just like I've let myself down. But I was sitting here working away and looked at my window. It was like 4 o'clock, and the rain had stopped, and I'm like, I'm logging off and going. And like, that's pretty cool. Like, to
Yeah.
be able to just go make that conscious decision. I'm logging off from work. I'm going to get changed, and I go. And it was easy to do. Like, I walk across the corridor, and I'm now home, and I can easily get changed and head out the door and get my run in. So that's been good. And I think that we'll see a bit of that, to be able to, so on, I think Tuesday it was, we were sitting outside on the deck with the kids, working, and I stopped for half an hour and did PE with Joe with the kids. So that was kind of cool. Like, so I think there's some real positives that are going to come out of this scenario.
It sounds like you found them in your family, and that's really great to hear. I think a lot of people are having the same kind of situation. So, well, thanks for sharing all that with us, Mark.
No worries at all. Hope you guys are keeping well and coping with it with us all, and remaining positive and seeing what those positive outcomes can be.
100%.
We are. We'll chat soon.
We will. See you guys.
See you, Mark. Well, last but not least, let's see if we can get Cam. What time is it over there? Who cares?
I'm terrible with times.
Yeah, me too.
If he answers, he answers.
Yep.
Hello?
Hello. Is that Cam?
Hello, can you speak up?
Cam, it's Lyndell and Mel.
Oh,
Happy Parkrun
Oh.
Day.
hello. Oh, is that what? No, wait, hang on. Isn't it Saturday again?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Oh, no, that's not cool. It's turned back to Saturday. That's just not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well.
So what are you doing?
Well, I was bloody asleep until you called me.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Whoops.
It's Western Australia. It must be like, let's not
Early.
talk about what time it is there, Cam.
It is before stupid o'clock here. I'm going to get in so much trouble. I'm going to wake up the entire house.
Oh, our bad. So sorry.
Oh, naughty.
Mm.
Anywho, now that I've got all this free time on Saturday, I don't know what to do with myself anymore, but unfortunately someone else has decided to come to my rescue
Oh, yeah.
and give me ginormous honey-do lists.
A honey-do list.
Yeah, honey, can you do this? Honey, can you do that?
Oh.
Honestly, she said to me, now that you've got all this free time that you're not spending hours upon hours on Saturday morning with your friends, you can do all these jobs around the house.
Oh.
I said, I'll get back to you on that.
So you haven't started being the home reno guy? What kind of jobs are on this honey-do list?
Ooh.
Because I need some tips. Maybe I should be giving my husband a honey-do list too.
Well, there's the weeding, but of course that you'd try and palm that off to the kids. There's a new garden that we're trying to put around a paved area, and the paved area actually has to be paved, and I've got to move grass from A to B, and this is weird. I'd rather go running, to be honest.
Don't blame you. Yeah, being given home maintenance jobs instead of getting out and active with your friends and having a bit of a coffee afterwards. Yeah, I know what I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, but I tell you true, I'm still putting the Garmin on and I'm still recording it as activities because, when you pick up the shovel or the brick paver or something like that, that still counts.
Oh, you're still burning calories for sure, my friend.
Yes.
Just not over kilometres necessarily. Although, you know what? The other day I met my step count challenge just baking in the kitchen, and it was only about 3 hours in the morning, and I'd already met my step challenge for the day. So, and that's literally walking around in about a 4 metre square space.
Well, that's all you're allowed.
So I think, yeah. So do we need to lobby Garmin and Strava and the like to get some new activities? So, honey-do list activities.
I think
Baking
I think
activities.
vacuuming could be a new indoor long-distance sport. I think cleaning out the fridge could
Dusting.
count as a workout.
100%. Dusting. Oh,
Nobody dusts, though, really.
yeah,
Like, even
well,
in
people
these
are getting
times.
desperate.
They're running out of things to do.
There's only so many times you can clean a flat surface before you start wearing through it.
This is true. So home improvement, that sounds like a much better thing than general house chores.
Yes, that's true. But in other exciting news, I think I'm going to become a foreign correspondent.
Oh,
For the parkrun adventures, you mean?
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm not moving anywhere because we can't, but WA is becoming an island in an island. And it's just a matter of time before we secede from the Commonwealth, like we threatened to so many times. And we are going to become the glorious Republic of Western Australia.
well, when that happens, I don't know. It's not my decision to make. But when that happens, I reckon you can be a foreign correspondent.
Yes, we would definitely welcome your foreign correspondence. So what will change when you guys secede? Like, what's going to be different over there from what happens over here?
Ooh, you know what? I don't know. We threatened it so many times. I think we've lost sight of what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Probably just the name then.
I think we might run all of our parkrun courses backwards.
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
That could work.
Yeah.
Weird, crazy times.
Crazy
So
times.
you're coping okay, Cam?
Absolutely.
What's different in your life?
I am seeing a lot more people being very courteous and giving on pathways and walking around in general. It's very disconcerting, people being so nice to each other, to be honest. But seeing so many new walkers and runners out and about in the suburbs. So if you're listening to this, hello, good morning. Sorry to freak you out on occasion and scare you when I creep up behind you in my silent, sneaky joggers. But I'm just saying hello, good morning, as a way to warn you that I'm going to run past you at a very large radius.
Isn't it amazing? Do you think there are more people, like it's one of those psychological things that people get told they can't do something, or they have to do something. You've got to stay at home. You've got to stay indoors, except for this one time of the day where you're allowed out. And I'm sure I'm seeing more people who would never have normally got out, but they're getting out now because they're told they have to stay at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot more dog walkers out now because the city council closed the dog parks. So they're all just walking around. That's brilliant.
Yeah. There's all the gym goers as well that can't go to the gym. They're out and about. But yeah, lots of families. It's their family time. I've seen that on my Facebook feed. A lot of my friends are taking their kids out for a walk or a bike ride because the kids are going stir crazy at home, and so they're getting them out and about in the fresh air. So
yesterday,
I think it's a good thing.
Yesterday I saw something amazing. This little house that I drove past, they had their entire front yard set up with all the little athletics equipment that they've collected over the years, little small hurdles and a couple of jumping mats and everything. And they had their kids doing the full program all the way, all the running races, all the long jumps, triple jumps. I don't think they managed high jump, although I did see a broom on the ground.
Yeah.
And I thought that was magnificent. So we could have the neighbourhood little athletics competition, and we could still send in all our results and still do championships and trophies and everything. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, anything to stop them climbing the walls, because I know my walls are getting a thrashing at the moment at home. So yeah, we've been trying to get out, and bike riding is a great one because it keeps Wesley's hands occupied. He's got a little balance bike, and so if his hands are holding onto the handlebars, then I know he's not touching other things that he shouldn't be touching. And poor kid, he keeps asking if he can play in all the parks that we ride past, and there are all these signs saying that the parks are closed, and the swings have been tied up out of reach and things like that. And he's taking it pretty well, but it's hard. We are being put in a position where we have to be creative about how we can exercise him and get the energy out. It's a challenge, but yeah, like I said, it's just encouraging us to be creative.
Yeah, absolutely. The other week, I measured the diameter around my table, and it was a solid 10 metres. So I thought, well, 500 laps, park run, who knows? It's a chance.
Kitchen table park run.
Yes, well, sad thing is that I've still got all the kit from just before all the park runs were all cancelled. So I've got all the flags, I've got all the cones, I've got markers. I can set up inside the house a full course. I've got all the timing kit and everything. I can have my own park run. I'm not sure they'll let me sort of upload it, but you know.
Yeah.
It's not too difficult to process results for a small family group, Cam. So I will be keeping an eye out for dining room table parkrun coming to us from the far side very shortly.
Excellent. Well, tell you what, I got to go because the kids are climbing said walls, but hopefully I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Cam. It was great catching up.
Take care. See you, Cam.
See ya.
Oh, so good chatting to everyone. Oh, but wait, Lyndall, I've got a couple of missed calls and messages. It looks like Greta and Dave might have given us a call back.
Oh, cool.
Well, let's listen to what they've got to say.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, it's Greta here. I'm so sorry I missed your call and now I'm calling you back. We're playing phone tag. You must be talking to someone else, maybe one of the other roving reporters. Anyway, I guess you're probably wondering, parkrun's not happening. Where am I now? Well, that's one of the reasons why I missed your call. So the Wilkinson family are using our Saturdays now to explore our local area and go on some trails and tracks that we probably haven't seen before. And so this morning we went to a place called Totnes Recreation Park, which is just in a place called Totnes, not Topless, Totnes, which is just out of Mount Barker. And Totnes has a great big dam, but it also has something cool, which is a tunnel. So near Mount Barker, there's a big freeway. It's the freeway that runs from Adelaide to Melbourne, and it goes right past Mount Barker. And Totnes Recreation Park is just to one side of it. Actually, it's to both sides of the big freeway that runs from Adelaide to Melbourne. And there's a tunnel. There's a tunnel that runs underneath the freeway from one side of Totnes Recreation Park to the other. And I don't think it was built for humans. I think it was probably built for water and maybe animals to get from one side to the other. But if you crouch down, you can actually go all the way through. So that's where we were when you rang this morning. I don't think the mobile phone reception is very good in the tunnel, but we had a good time exploring Totnes Recreation Park and the tunnel. And
come on, Greta, let's go.
Oh,
keep moving.
Oh, and there's the family wanting me to keep moving. So it was nice talking to you. Hello to all the parkrun adventurers out there. I hope you're managing to do your parky from home and looking after each other and practicing your physical distancing and making sure you maintain social connection. Okay, see you later. Bye.
Hi, David here. Sorry I missed your call. I was actually experimenting in sleeping in on a Saturday morning and admit it brought back memories of a previous life from long, long ago. And it also helped yesterday going for a decent sanity jog, more of a walk really, on some of the trails in the Sunshine Coast hinterland. It was great. Almost no one else around and perfect weather. Too good to waste. Anyway, enough rambling. Give us a call when you can and touch wood, I'll get back to you. Okay, bye.
Well, it's great that Dave and Greta haven't dropped off the radar entirely. I'm glad to see that they were able to call us back and having fun in their own different kinds of ways.
And just making the most of Parkrun Day, even without Parkrun.
So, I'm glad to see, Lyndall, that everybody seems to be doing pretty well, coping with the circumstances and adapting to the changes that have all been going on.
It sounds like it. It's been a pretty rough time for lots of people. But I think, the theme that we've had coming through is that there just seems to be a bit more tolerance and a bit more positivity still coming through, even in hard times. People are, trying to do the right thing, and they're reaching out to people more and smiling and waving at people. I mean, who'd have thought that would be something that we would, have coming through so much in a time that, is really unknown and unsettling for so many.
Yeah, it's a lovely little silver lining, isn't it?
Indeed.
One of the things that I kind of noticed is that lots of people are being really flexible in the way they're adapting to the changes, and they're doing different things. And this actually brings me to something that I wanted to talk a little bit about in the pod this week, is that this Parkrun Adventures is a podcast about parkrun, and we don't have parkrun at the moment in its previous incarnation. I know people are doing their own different things, and even the parkrun teams are engaging a lot more on social media. We've got things like the quizzes, and there's School of Parkrun and things like that, which are all great initiatives, and really encourage everybody to get involved with those. But it still means that this podcast, which has had content every week from people having adventures to different places, and adventures are one of the things that have kind of been curbed to a certain extent, at least in their previous form anyway, for a little while. So it's important to me that everybody knows that we're still here and we're not going anywhere. But at the same time, I think we're going to kind of have to go somewhere, because we can't always do what we've always done. And that's in its most literal, I guess, manifestation. That's going to mean that I think the pod can't be weekly anymore for a little while. I think we're going to roll with the punches and adapt a little bit, and maybe just be a little bit more ad hoc with our releases. I don't know about you, Lyndell, but with everyone whose lives are changing, they're not commuting to work, they're not doing their normal things, they're at home more with their families, and just every day is different than what it might have been before. And personally, I'm not having as much time to listen to podcasts as I was before. So I almost feel like not that we won't be missed if we're not weekly, but that perhaps this will give everyone a chance to have a bit more of a breather. I mean, there are still other great podcasts out there as well, and I'm certainly not saying we're going away. I want that to be clear. We are here. We're just not going to be releasing podcasts as frequently as we have done over the last 4.5 years.
Oh, look, I can understand that. And look, put out a quality podcast instead of, really trying to scratch around to find something to talk about. As you say, the Parkrun Adventures is built on people parkrunning and adventuring and interviewing people at parkrun. So, as a roving reporter, we won't have content to contribute. So, looking for different things might mean a bit more time between the pod. And look, I take your point as well. I'm really struggling to keep up with all my podcasts. I listen, my weekly podcast program is the Parkrun Adventurers, and sport podcast I like to listen to, The Ticket, and a couple of tech podcasts, and my Survivor podcasts. And at the moment, I'm really struggling to keep up with my Survivor podcasts. So
Survivor podcasts, plural.
Oh, yeah. Yes, there's plenty of Survivor podcasts out there.
All right. Now, so Survivor, it's a TV show, yeah?
Yeah. So, and especially in the last few weeks, it's been for the last couple of months, I guess, it's been pretty frantic, because we've had Australian Survivor as well as the US Survivor. So Survivor's been on TV 4 nights a week, and there's been podcasts between all of those episodes, and then weekly recaps and other, rankings and all sorts of, there's plenty of Survivor content, and I just haven't been able to keep up. So
this is a hectic schedule, Lyndell.
It's very hectic. So 2 things have happened. The Australian Survivor series has finished, so now it's just US, and I thought I might be able to keep up with all the US podcasts without the Australian ones, but even that's hard without my daily commute every day, and or it's a shorter commute when I go to work, and some days working at home. I'm running out of time, and with Survivor, it's a weekly TV show, so if you miss the podcasts, the next week the TV show comes back, and so all of those podcasts are moot, because the game's moved on, and the strategy's moved on, and so yeah, those podcasts are gone forever.
This is definitely a problem. We need to get you some more time to listen to those podcasts.
Granted, it's a on the scale of problems, it's not a very serious one. But it has been giving me some. It's just not been. It's another reason why life is not as normal as it usually is. So.
Well, I might have to start watching Survivor. There's obviously something to it if you are so fond of it as you are.
Oh yeah, look, I've been watching. I mean, Survivor US has been going for 20 years, so it's been going for a long time, and this season in particular. Is all of the old winners coming back. So there's a lot of nostalgia involved in that as well, and it's a really great it's a season that people have been looking forward to for a long time. But, you know, there's so much in Survivor. A lot of, you know, the casual viewers sort of see the challenges and think that that's the main focus of the show, but it's actually the conversations. There's the physical game and the challenges, but there's the strategic game in terms of who's the best person to vote out. And then there's the social game that you need in order to get the right person voted out. So there's so many layers in it. And, you know, I just find it absolutely fascinating and really, you know, just captivating. I've been watching it for a long time now. And, yeah, discovering the podcast to go with it has added a whole other level for me. And again, you know, like Parkrun, there's a community around Survivor that listen to the podcasts and chat online. And yeah, so.
Thank you, Lyndell, because it's a little insight into you, something new that I didn't know. I guess that's probably it for this week, Lyndell. Yeah, I mean,
what a great place to finish with Survivor. Awesome.
I know it hasn't been the normal kind of format. I mean, the first time we've ever recorded during parkrun time on Parkrun Day, or Unparkrun Day at the moment as it is. So it's all a little bit different. This is, let's say, the first of the new wave of Parkrun Adventurers podcasts where it's just a little bit different. We'll still have interviews with people, and that's probably what's going to form the basis of the majority of the episodes going forward for the next little while. We'll try to find some interesting parkrun people who have some great parkrun stories to share with everybody. So if anyone's got any recommendations or they want to particularly listen to somebody, let us know who that is and we'll try to reach out to them and get them on the pod. Otherwise, we hope you stick with us and enjoy what we have to present to you when it happens. Just being cognizant that it's, life is changing daily pretty much at the moment. And I've got stuff going on in my life, and I know the Channel 5 news crew have all got different things happening in their lives too. And we know all our listeners have got the full spectrum of all the different kinds of things going on with everything at the moment. We're going to keep it light-hearted and point out as many silver linings as we can, but also conscious that it's not all going to be silver linings. There's more tough times to come. So we're still here. If anyone does want to reach out and have a chat, please do so. You can contact us via Instagram or Facebook, or drop us a tweet at us, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you as well in the meantime. Thanks for joining me this week, Lyndell. It's been great having a chat with you and catching up with all the rest of the roving reporters to see how we're all doing. Good luck with keeping on top of your Survivor podcasts for the immediate future.
Yeah. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for having me. I feel really honoured to be the person that got to chat to all of the team with you. It's been really nice to connect with everybody. I've really, really enjoyed it.
big sorry to Cam's wife for waking you up.